What's going on, friends? This is Neil Adler with another episode of Syracuse Central on the Fan Arch Network. Hope everyone's doing well. This is Syracuse Central. We cover Syracuse basketball, football, and recruiting, both sports. Please drop me comments about what you like and you don't like every single episode, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. All right. So Syracuse men's basketball had a double-digit lead against Virginia Tech at home on Wednesday night. Didn't work out for the Orange. They lost by 2 points, if memory serves correct. 76-74. Yep, I got it. Um, what can I tell you? This is just frustrating. I had the game for sure, but the game's not over until the game's over. So having a double-digit lead in the game itself doesn't mean anything if you lose at the end. And I know that's a Captain Obvious statement, but honestly, for me, they were up 7 at halftime, I believe, 37-30. Let me just make sure I got that right. Yeah. They got outscored by 9 in the second half. And for me, it was, and this seems like it happens fairly regularly when Syracuse, plays pretty well and just can't put it together for two halves. And so for me, it was free throws and points off turnovers were the main thing. In the second half, Virginia Tech led 16-2 in points off turnovers. 16-2. What else are you going to say? They led 19-12 in the second half in fast break points, 25-15 overall in that category. And they were 25 of 33 from the free throw line in the second half. Syracuse shot well for the game from the free throw line, 12 of 14. That's good. Virginia Tech scored 14 more points at the free throw line. That's the game right there. Syracuse was 10 of 23 from deep. Virginia Tech was awful. Rebounds, Syracuse was +2. I'm just kind of going through things here. But yeah, they had 14 turnovers in total because they had 9 in the second half, 5 in the first. I feel like that's kind of a common theme where they just, they played well in the first half and they only committed 5 turnovers. And look, if they're going to get 10 turnovers a game, that's not bad. But then the key becomes, like, how many points off turnovers are they getting versus giving up? Because it's usually, or not usually, but when they're winning, that's an area that they usually thrive in, that dominate in. Points off turnovers, fast break points, and they haven't been doing that as much recently. This stinks. I'm so frustrated with this team because I think we talk about, and some of y'all chime in, like, there is talent there. It's not like it's a much more talented quote unquote roster than last year. And they're just not putting it together for a whole game. They shot 43% from the field, which isn't great, but they shot almost 44% from deep, 86% from the free throw line. Starling was 12 points, 5 of 11 from the field. Nate King's 11 points. Donnie, he struggled from the field, 3 of 14. It was 10 points, 9 boards. William Cobb III did his normal thing, 10 and 8. Nate George had 6 points, 3 assists, but just 1 turnover. So that's where you want him to get more assists, but that's a better assist turnover ratio than he's been having in some games. Sadiq was great. Sadiq White, 5 of 9 from the field, 11 points, 5 boards. Did have 3 turnovers. Betsy had a couple threes, 9 points. Cayenne had a 3, 5 points. I mean, what else is there to say? They're not a great team. I don't even know if they're a good team. They're not a bad team. I mean, Virginia Tech's going to contend for an NCAA tournament bid, but this was a quad 2 game. You got to win these games at home. I mean, what else do you say? There's nothing more to say. I'm moving on. I'm so frustrated. All right, so, coming up, like I've talked about this a little bit on Syracuse Central, but they got Miami coming up. They got NC State coming up. I think Miami just lost a game, and I think NC State might have beaten Clemson. I hope I'm not mistaking that. Notre Dame isn't very good, but then they got North Carolina and Virginia back-to-back in early first week in February. And let's see where some of these teams are in the net. Miami's 35. NC State's 28. North Carolina's 30. They've lost a couple recently, but they're still 14-4, 15-4 overall. Virginia is like one of the higher ranked. They're 16-2 besides Although this was not updated, the net rankings through games yesterday. So apologies if I got some of these rankings slightly off. But you get my drift. They got some tough games coming up, and can't beat Boston College on the road. And Virginia Tech it seems like a pretty good team, but it doesn't give me a lot of confidence to think that Syracuse is going to beat an NC State or a Miami or a North Carolina or Virginia. And I can't remember. I think the Miami game is at home, but then Miami's at home, NC State's on the road. So those are both, well, the NC State game's definitely quad one. Miami's, if they're inside the top 30, would be quad one. Notre Dame at home, they better win that game. But then you've got back-to-back North Carolina, Virginia. I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. The next 5 games, I mean, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here, but they could easily go 1-4. And by the way, feel free to make fun of my glasses. My other pair of glasses broke last night. I have to go get them fixed today, but couldn't do it yet. So these are my old pair that I have taped together because they were broken too. So feel free to drop me comments about how ridiculous I look today. It's cool. I know it. At least I'm self-aware. It's one of my strengths. I'm self-aware. I can be a moron, and I'm sure I annoy some of you people, and I have plenty of flaws, but I am usually self-aware, so I know I look ridiculous. But yeah, 1-4, 12-7, 13. They could be like 13-11 after that stretch. 13-11. Damn, I hate this. I really thought this team, and I'm not saying like the season's over, although I know some people are already proclaiming that, but it's brutal. I'm depressed today. I really am. All right, so Cayenne made some comments after the game, and just one in particular that I just want to mention that he said is, saw on social media, and he said, we got to keep grinding and digging ourselves out of the hole we created. And yeah, that kind of ties in with what I just said, that, you know, they're 12-7, 3-3 in the league. It's not awful. It's not good. And I know, you know, playing like the what if games all the time, that gets old, and it's kind of like, all right, whatever, hindsight, and, you know, hypotheticals are hypotheticals, but, you know, the Hofstra loss, the BC loss, you had this game. Not that Virginia Tech, you know, not that it was an easy game or anything, and I think the spread was like 3 points or something. The Houston game, but it's like, they're 12-7, but you win those 4, you're 16-3. Looks a lot different. You're probably ranked. Sucks. And look, I'm not, you know, it's not about moral victories, and I'm not saying, you know, but I could also say there's no shame in losing to Virginia Tech. They're a good team. Certainly you'd want to win that game at home, but it's like all the turnovers and then the free throws disparity. And look, I know there were some questionable calls. I get, it's exhausting to me talk about officiating and cost us the game or whatever. Like, dude, they got outscored, and you know, putting the free throw disparity in the second half to the side, they got outscored in points off turnovers in the second half, 16-2. That's not the ref's fault. That's like this fairly more common theme that I've seen lately, where it's like one half they'll have 2, 3, 4, 5 at the most turnovers, and the next half they'll have 10. It's just like, just piece it together and keep it below 10 for a game, and I think they'll be in better shape. But yeah, I mean, in terms of Cayenne, and they dug themselves a hole. I mean, unless they have a massive 180 and they just, you know, get after it in some games coming up that maybe we didn't think they would win and they end up winning. I just don't have a lot of confidence in that. You lose to BC. They should have won this game. I know they won, you know, 3 before that in a row. What was it? At Pitt, at Georgia Tech, and then home against Florida State. But those aren't great teams. So I just don't have a lot of confidence they're going to beat good teams. I hope I'm wrong. You know, maybe if you get that home win over Miami, Notre Dame's winnable. Sure, it's winnable. They need to win that. And, you know, like going to NC State, going to Virginia, going to North Carolina, uh, they'll obviously be an underdog, Syracuse, but it's not like, I mean, they can hang with anyone. It's just lately, it's just like they're not. It's just not all there. And I thought a few games ago when they won those three in a row, albeit against lesser competition, that they maybe were kind of putting it together, and now they're kind of trending the other way. But we're only nine. We've still got 12 more. 12, right? 6, yeah, 18. Yeah, 12 more regular season games. They're going to have to win a lot of them. All right, let's get to some viewer comments, including a couple of you definitely laying into me, and that's totally cool. Peace, love. My man, Peace, love wrote game time. Let's go Cuse. Well, yeah, game time, but that stinks. They lost. Robert Zafaris writes, give Felicia Leggett Jack a raise. Amen. John Clark writes, Virginia Tech 81-60. Okay. Well, they didn't lose by that much. Daddy rocks. Love that. 3-2-1. We get 9 p.m. games because I was complaining about the 9 p.m. game. We get 9 p.m. games because we're not that good. No one excited to watch them blow leads and watch Autry coach. Am I wrong? I mean, I guess there's some fair statements. I don't know the reasoning for 7 versus 9 or whatever. Like, CHF hands definitely laid into me pretty good here. Stop crying about 9 p.m. games. It's an opportunity for us that work later to watch a game. Think about that next time you sit at a restaurant at 8 p.m. Well, number one, I wasn't trying to offend anyone with my lamenting about the 9 p.m. start. And I'm well aware that people in certain jobs, a 9 p.m. is better. I mean, at the same time, you've got your life and I've got my life. My life consists of multiple jobs, getting up very early. I have a kid that lives out of state that I travel to. I live with my mom who has Alzheimer's and I take care of her. So my life's a little different, and earlier games are better for me because I wake up early. So it's tougher for me. But I wasn't like throwing shade at anyone that works at a restaurant or any other job where they work later and a 9 p.m. So I hope you got to watch the game, my friend. Sorry if I offended you. We all got different stories. You don't necessarily know mine. I don't know yours, but much love. It's all good. I like it when people are honest with me. It's cool. Kenny D603 writes, G. Neil, you didn't hit read more having reread what I wrote. This was from obviously earlier in the week. I'm kind of glad that you didn't comment on it at all. As someone whose comments are a little long, I recommend people think twice about hitting the read more button. I think I'll save any pearls of wisdom on the fate of Cuse Hoops until tomorrow as the new streak begins. Well, to be fair, actually, Kenny, I did read all your comments. It's just when I'm going through these, like sometimes you and others write a lot, and I can't. It's not that I can't, but like I'm not gonna read like every single thing verbatim. That's no offense to you or anyone, but I kind of summarize or whatever. But you have very insightful comments, very insightful. You should come write for me on Inside the Loud House. And by the way, if anyone ever wants to write about Syracuse sports and wants to join Inside the Loud House, which is where I write digitally, drop me a comment or whatever. I can help you come on board. I'm always looking to have people join the team, and you can write about whatever you want. All right. John Clark writes, Syracuse will not rattle off a bunch of wins. They will lose more than they win for the rest of the season. You heard it here first. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's absolutely possible. They got a lot of quad ones and quad twos coming up, and if they don't win some of them, they could definitely lose more than they win, and that would stink. But it's possible. I still hope maybe this team could just kind of like, I don't know about an NCAA tournament bid, but it'd be nice if they could at least like win the games they're supposed to win. Maybe have a few upsets. Maybe get to 20 regular season wins to give themselves a chance. Like if they could then rattle off multiple wins in the ACC tournament where that theoretically could maybe give them a chance to get an at-large bid. Probably not, but you know what I'm saying? Like, but it'd be nice to at least have that kind of hope, because otherwise it's just going to get more and more, and not just from y'all commenting, but from me too. It's going to get more and more negative. Like I feel negative today, and I'm just kind of deflated because I feel like this team could be a pretty good team. Anyway, all right, that's going to do it for today's edition of Syracuse Central. on the Fan Arch Network. I'm your humble host, Neil Adler. Thank you so much for all the comments, even ones. Hey, listen, I appreciate all feedback, positive or negative. And this is a show that it's about you all and growing our community of Syracuse sports fanatics. We all love Syracuse sports. We want them to succeed. And I'm just one fan. So, like I said, please drop me comments about good and bad every single episode, because it only makes things get better in terms of our community here. But and if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button if you're so inclined. And I will talk to you again tomorrow. Take care.